10 tornadoes reported yesterday through parts of the Midwest. Wow, take a look at that. That's some storm clouds in Swift County, Minnesota. Yesterday, the skies opened up. There were 2 reports of tornadoes in Minnesota. It was a wild, severe weather day through parts of the Midwest and the Ohio Valley.
Just some nasty storms that not only created a lot of wind damage around places like Columbus, but we also had a lot of rain. So it was wind damage and flooding issues.
10 tornadoes reported yesterday through parts of the Midwest.
Water spouts right there.
One's already down.
Wow. Wow. First time I've ever seen a tornado in my life. There's 4 water spouts right there. Wow.
That's the actual water coming up.
Yeah.
Storms are back in the forecast Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The main threat here will be hail and wind.
It's like we're going to see a couple of things. Strong thunderstorms in the east, heat out to the west.
And the heat goes on. We are looking at a heat wave over the next couple of days. So this hot weather, well, it just sticks around. We're going to see the 90s and the 100s pop up right through the middle of the week.
It's going to feel excessively warm. The heat story is one that definitely bears talking about. We actually could set a couple of records around the mid-Atlantic and spots like the D.C. area.
We're still watching the tropics, a possible area of development to the east.
Way out here in the Atlantic.
And out to the west, monsoon season begins.
That means afternoon thunderstorms, the daytime heating, could be some flash flooding in some areas.
Well, we have a pretty active pattern here across parts of the Midwest and also into the Northeast as we go through the week.
And it may be a couple of rounds of storms. You've got a boundary set up that rounds of storms are basically forming along, and they basically kind of move from the west-northwest toward the east-southeast. Now,
well, thunderstorms scattered about the southeast today, generally along and south of Interstate 20.
Wednesday, we're looking at more of a threat of severe weather. Can't rule out isolated tornadoes either of these days, and the rainfall is looking pretty good too. So we could see a 1/4 of an inch in Cleveland. Boston, you could pick up a 1/2 inch with this system by the middle of the week.
It's going to be a rainy couple days again. So, yeah, it's going to be rainy, rainy, and rainy. Yeah, that's wet all over. Yeah, Florida, prepare to get wet for a while. Is that normal for summers? Usually it's dry. It seems to be raining in a lot of places for a thing called summer. Yeah, craziness there, craziness there, craziness there, craziness there. Yeah, there's a lot of snow going on right here right now. Usually if you see a big blue blob, that means bad weather. All right, how are you tonight? I'm so glad you are here with me, learning about the weather and the weird, wacky, and wild conditions that are happening here in 2017. You know what I mean? Stay tuned for this epic Thor News weird weather adventure.
It's gonna be a good summer.
Hit the button, baby.
I was living in a fantasy.
So it is just plain steamy.
Stay cool.
And you have to stay cool, right?
We are going from cool to downright hot. We're looking at heat building.
You know, the sun is blazing in full force.
This is a Thor News presentation. Are you cool? Because I'm going to be dropping some hard Thor News science upon you. Thor News presents
Andrew, Katrina, Sandy. These are all memorable names that immediately conjure up images of destruction.
it only takes one. Remember that. You remember Matthew that we had last year?
All right, this is a Thor News ocean activity update. And as of right now, it's kind of laying off the Cat 5 hurricane madness. All right, so I have been watching the oceans. The GFS model has been going crazy. Not only do I think it's on drugs, I think it's on multiple drugs. It's on like uppers and downers. It's having mood swings. So rapid and incredible. It's like, what the hell is going on? And both models have been on drugs, really. But one thing we're going to watch here is, if you'll notice, there's just a steady stream of moisture rolling off Africa. And at one point, it spits out like 4 low spots. The crazy thing is yesterday, 24 hours ago, this had a Cat 5 hurricane hitting the East Coast. And then it had it hitting the tip of Texas. And now, it's got no hurricanes whatsoever. But it does have a continuous stream of moisture going from the equator up into the Gulf Coast and the East Coast. Pretty much the middle of America to the east. Here's the deal, man. We got multiple storm situations going on because the jet stream is sending storms through here. They're flying up into the mean sea level pressure point, and then this is sending out moisture from the Gulf up, and then they're going back out to the mean sea level pressure point of moisture. So collectively over time, that's a big problem. And as I've mentioned before, the sun is freaking out. Like we have a giant sunspot facing Earth right now, and that sunspot is extremely active. Combine that with an eclipse in about 40 days, and yeah, it's a crazy days indeed. We are going to keep a semi-paranoid eye on the weather That's for sure. We're looking at the European model, and you can see it's kind of taking what's left of Tropical Storm Don up to Florida, which will bring a lot of moisture. But the thing that interests me at the moment is the European model, and both models have been on drugs, really. It shows a little low-pressure spot forming in the Gulf of Mexico right there. See it? It's on the 15th. Let's go back a little. What the hell did I just do? Way to go, me, jerkweed. All right. We're looking at the 13th, and then around the 14th, our low-pressure system begins to form. Can you see her yet? She's almost there. There you go. At the end of the 14th. That's no good. Louisiana has already had way too much rain. Same for Mississippi, Alabama. All right, let's look at it in terms of rain, shall we? Man, Mexico's getting pounded. Those are the nasty storms that'll be rolling through Canada and the upper east United States. And then here comes Tropical Don, bringing moisture to the Gulf Coast states again. Yeah, so this looks like a rainy season. It's going to be a rainy couple days again. So you got this storm system kind of coming through and out. And then you got this storm system coming up and connecting. So, yeah, it's going to be rainy, rainy, and rainy. And that low in the Gulf is kind of sitting there. Whereas the model can be really wacky 12 days out. It's usually pretty accurate around 4 days out. Although there is a cliff at like the 3-day mark for whatever reason. It just gets really shitty then. But this is predicting rain almost for like a week in the southeast. Well, that don't look good at all. That looks horrible. I mean, that area is way too wet. That seems like a week of rain, man. Freaking hell. Let's play with the GFS, see what it does. We're now kicking over the GFS. There are two different supercomputers. They put all the data in and then comes up with its own conclusions. We're now going through Tuesday, and we're still seeing on this one a lot of rain from Florida along the coast into Texas. And then in the Great Lakes areas, it's wet and nasty, baby. The GFS actually shows more rain early on in the week than the European did. All right. How are you tonight? I'm so glad you are here with me, learning about the weather and the weird, wacky, and wild conditions that are happening here in 2017. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's wet all over. Yeah, so the GFS does almost nothing with Don. It contributes most of the moisture to the upper storm system, and it just brings it south, which is weird. But both systems seem to say a lot of rain. You know what I mean? Yeah, Florida, prepare to get wet for a while. Is that normal for summers? I know Texas, like, usually it's dry. It seems to be raining a lot of places for a thing called summer. Yeah. Man, Florida's just, it's got you wet the whole time. Almost. Like, shut up, leave me alone. Wait, what? All right? Now we know. One more thingamadoody. Let's go here, shall we? Oh, that's craziness. Yeah, craziness there, craziness there, craziness there, craziness there. Said there's a bunch of snow going on. Check out the misery index. That's what we're doing. Yeah, there's a lot of snow going on right here right now. The weather people were freaking out. Okay, but see over here. Whoa. We got our waves. They're rolling off Africa, following the hot zone. And then the high pressure zone is kind of keeping the thing. That makes it look like the hurricane would then kind of go up there, or there, or there, or there, or there. Hell, you be the judge. All right, that's a total cloud water. I can advance it. All right, that was the 12th. Now we got a wonderful curlicue alien shrimp looking thing. And here's the large tropical wave we're watching down here. Yeah, look at that. That's nasty, people. And these are the next waves that Africa will be firing off at us. Server is down. This is going to mean sea level pressure. Oh, yeah, that's nasty. What was that? It don't look good. Usually if you see a big blue blob, that means bad weather. It's like, look at this right here. Now we're going to go through the stormy, horrible floods in China and Japan. See how it's not moving very fast? That's a lot of rain. Giant bands of rain. Moving slow, dropping a lot of rain.
It was a wild, severe weather day through parts of the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. Akron, Ohio, torrential rain, and that caused a foot of standing water. That's Ohio State. Notice that big tree that came down? And we're watching 2 areas for severe weather later today. Now, we are going to see storms stretch out along this front, and where we're looking at the severe weather is back through the plains, but also we're going to see a big risk of this through parts of the Ohio Valley, Indy, you're included, D.C., all the way up through New York. We could get some hail and some strong gusty winds that will develop, especially by this evening. The storms are going to fire up later today through the afternoon back through the Midwest, and then that evening threat, that's going to be through the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. So we're starting to see the heat spread further east. Fargo 90, North Platte 102.
I think we see a considerable amount of rain with some thunderstorms here across northern sections on Thursday. Meanwhile, extreme heat, Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. with those real feel temperatures 100 degrees, if not a little bit higher on Thursday. Then by Friday, that threat for showers and a few storms sinks south.
So we are going to be looking at really a stormy couple of days right through the middle of the week.
All right. God bless everyone.
If it's happening in a galaxy, then Thor's all over it. Hurricanes, solar flares, Planet X. How humanity's gonna destroy itself at each other's necks. Yeah, I don't know if you know this. No, I don't know if you know this.
It was a wild, severe weather day.
Just some nasty storms.
10 tornadoes reported yesterday through parts of the Midwest.